Good morning, Mount Pleasant Elementary School students. Today we are going to be using space in our artwork. We're going to create a pumpkin composition because it's fall and we're seeing a lot of pumpkins. We're going to use the secondary colors and we are going to use the foreground, middle ground, and background to create a fun pumpkin composition. Let's get started. For this project, you'll need some paper, a pencil, and an eraser, some crayons, and some paint if you have it. If you don't have paint, you can use crayons or markers. You're going to need some heart to put in your art, so go ahead and hit the pause button and gather your materials. Directions always the same. Pick up your pencil and write your name because no name, no fame. We're going to take our paper and flip it like a pancake, and this time we're going to be holding it horizontal because we're going to be drawing a landscape or a picture of a landscape, which is a picture of the land. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to be drawing a horizontal line that goes across our paper. We call this a horizon line. It's where the ground and the sky meet. On our horizon line, we are going to draw a pumpkin. Now, I'm going to use ovals that connect and curved lines to create the ridges in my pumpkin. If you have a different way you draw a pumpkin, you can totally do it that way, but the pumpkin that's on our horizon line needs to be a little bit bigger than the pumpkin that's going to be on our next line. I'm going to separate the grounds kind of like we did in our line landscape, and I'm going to draw a pumpkin on that line. This pumpkin is going to be a tiny bit small because it is going back into space. I'm going to draw a third line or horizon line, and I'm going to make another pumpkin on it, sitting on it, and it's going to be a little bit smaller than the medium pumpkin. So we have a large, medium, and small pumpkin. I'm going to do a moon in the background to create space or to symbolize the background, and now I'm going to use some crayons to outline my drawing. I'm using orange. You can use black if you'd like, but I'm going to use orange, I'm going to use purple, and I'm going to use green. These are the secondary colors, and they're going to symbolize our pumpkins at night. So I'm going to use orange to outline my pumpkins. If you do not have paint, you can go ahead and color these in. I'm going to use paint, so I'm not going to color them in. I'm just going to outline them. If you have a brown and you want to use that for your pumpkin stems, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and outline my pumpkins using heavy application. That means I'm bearing down pretty hard so my crayon will resist my paint. You'll see that I grabbed a brown to fill in the stems of my pumpkin. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my secondary color green, and I'm going to outline my horizon lines. I'm going to use a zigzag line to kind of symbolize the grass that my pumpkin is sitting on. I'm going to continue to do this to every line. I'm also going to add little sprigs of grass below the lines to symbolize the pumpkin patch. You may also see me add a loop-de-loop line coming from my pumpkin stem to the ground to symbolize the vine that the pumpkin is growing on. My next color, secondary color, is going to be purple, and I'm going to be using purple for my moon and my nighttime sky. I'm not going to color in my moon, I'm going to leave it white, but I'm going to add some details to it to make it look bumpy. I'm going to use swirl lines, long swirl lines, to symbolize the wind blowing in the background. If you want, you can use a primary color of yellow to add some stars to your sky. Make sure you press really hard so that when you use paint on the top of it, it will resist the paint. If you don't have paints, you can either color with markers or continue coloring with crayons to finish this work. But if you do have paints, you can paint along with me in these next steps. I'm going to be adding a watercolor wash on top of my green grass, and I'm going to just fill in the space using that green. Your crayon should resist the paint because crayons have a waxy consistency that will resist the water. So make sure you're giving your paintbrush a good drink of water and creating a wash that will go over your crayon. I'm going to continue to do this until my space is filled up. So I'll paint with my secondary colors green, orange for the pumpkins, and then purple for the night sky. As you fill in your paper, make sure that you're leaving 0 to little white space, and make sure that you upload a video or a picture on Canvas so I can see the work that you created. Have fun.